what I wanted to do is show you that this is the 3DS, and this is the type of game experience that you're going to get. I don't have a capture card or anything, but I wanted you to get the viewpoint from the 3DS. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up, and we're going to jump into the review. So once again, my contacts from Atlus and Sega have sent me a new game to review. This is the Sega 3D Classics Collection. This is a pretty fun game that they sent me, and before I get into it, I just want to explain that there are several different games available in this Classics Collection. From Power Drift to Sonic the Hedgehog to Altered Beast, there's a number of different available games that you will be able to emulate on your 3DS via this Classics Collection. This collection consists of Power Drift, Puyo Puyo 2, Sonic the Hedgehog, Galaxy Force 2, Thunder Blade, Fantasy Zone 2, and Altered Beast. So the unique thing about this 3D Classics collection is that all of the games are added in with 3D. So a lot of these games can be played on different systems. Sonic the Hedgehog has since released on multiple consoles in disc collections and things like that. So it's not really for that reason. While you can take it with you on your 3DS, there are DS versions that contain many of these games. There are different ways to obtain these games on mobile gaming. The main reason you're going to want to play these games is because they're in 3D. So they offer quite a bit of depth versus a standard game. Now, unfortunately, while I'm showing the background footage and recording, I can't really show 3D due to the simple fact that it just doesn't work the same way it would if you were seeing it in real life. There's a lot of convolution to showing 3D because not only am I capturing it with my camera, but I'm also trying to render it, put it into a video, and then show it on YouTube. So again, the user would more than likely have to have a 3D TV or some special glasses to see it real well. Hence, the reason I can't really show it. But rest assured, these games are some of the best games I have ever played in my life. I was so engrossed in Sonic the Hedgehog and Power Drift, and even Altered Beast with a fresh 3D update is really awesome. Some of these games have a feature that allows you to go and put the depth into the 3DS or make the 3D pop out. So you have multiple options with your 3D depending on what you personally like. Each game can be looked at based upon a review you could easily search up for each individual game, because not much has changed with the 3D collections other than the 3D aspect. Being able to play all of these games in 3D and have an extreme depth of field going on. A real depth of field in a 16-bit game like Power Drift, a racing game that gives you really awesome views and angles. Most of these games were selected because they had some type of element that Sega probably wanted to emulate in a 3D setting. Like Thunder Blade is an overhead helicopter game, and it changes the viewpoints quite a lot, so it really takes advantage of that 3D. And that's great, but primarily I'm going to focus on Sonic the Hedgehog here. Whereas, again, you can see every single one of these games in an individual review and say, I think that's worth the asking price for this game, this collection together, and being able to play it on my 3DS in 3D. Really, the tipping point for 3D here is going to be whether or not you like to play these games in 3D. And generally speaking, I absolutely can't stand playing games in 3D, and I almost never do it, but with this collection, they really focused on it and made it something that I want to constantly play. I loved playing Sonic the Hedgehog in 3D. I cannot tell you how much you should get this just to play that game. The back scrolling, the parallax scrolling that they have, the in-depth elements, it just looks so much better, cleaner than almost any version I've ever played of Sonic the Hedgehog. And I played it from the original Genesis to the remakes and re-releases on the GameCube and the multi-collection discs, both on multiple systems. I've even played the arcade versions, and this by far beats them all out. The pixel density is compounded so much into such a smaller screen than a large TV with the 3D elements on. Oh man, it's one of the best experiences I have had in a long time. And for the asking price, that's pretty good. I mean, not a lot of games really focus on the 3D element in the 3DS unless they're first party. So this is a really great collection to get. that if you're interested in expanding your library without buying multiple games, you get one game and you get several games with it. And if you've never played a lot of these games, this is a great way to get into them. I mean, you have a platformer here, you have a shooter, you have an on-rail shooter from the cockpit position, Altered Beast, of course, one of the great Sega classics, and a racing game. And then other shooters as well, and a puzzle game. So you really have almost every genre you could ask for right here. The only thing really missing is an in-depth RPG, which, again, I'm not really sure how well that would work with 3D. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, because this only features Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's the main game I would promote this for, I would say that Power Drift takes great advantage of 3D settings, as well as a couple of the other games. But then there's other games like Altered Beast and Fantasy Zone where it's just not huge. It's not from a first-person view or third-person view, and it's not fast action, and I don't know. For me personally, I think this game is really worth it just to get that Sonic the Hedgehog experience, and the other games are nice bonuses. And if you disagree with me and say, no, I'm gonna buy it for Altered Beast, or no, I'm gonna buy it for Power Drift, or Puyo Puyo, or whatever, man, that's sweet too. I'm all about the 3D features that come on this, and they did an absolute great job porting this over. So ladies and gentlemen, when you see this come up on the digital download, when you see this under new, and when you see this come up in the stores, if you can, pick it up for sure. This is one of the better games and compilation type of games that I've encountered in a very, very long time. So that's my review, ladies and gentlemen. I give this game a B+ rating. It's very good for what it does offer. If you really wanted to play those games in 3D, there it is. There's the selling point. There's the edge. If you didn't like these games originally, 3D isn't going to magically make you like them, but it might give you a different look and outlook on each individual and various games. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Protomario, and again, I'm signing out. Hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to tweet Sega and let them know that Protomario really appreciates them sending me a copy so that I can talk to you guys about it and tell you if it's a bust or a must.